Hello, this is TCG and this particular CTF is called Doubletrouble. Let's get started right away. There are two ports open on this machine. One is an SSH port and the other one is an Apache server. Let's see what this server has. There is a project management service called QDPM hosted on this server. QDPM is vulnerable to remote code execution, but for that we need the credentials. In order to do that, we'll run a directory busting using derb. Out of all these directories and files, one of them seems suspicious. This one. Let's see what this has to offer. There doesn't seem to be anything off about this image, so we're gonna use tag-seek in order to check if there's any text hidden in this image. We've now got what seems to be a username, which is an email ID and a password. Let's try it on the project manager. Now that we have verified the credentials, we're going to use CVE 2020-7246 in order to create a backdoor onto the website. Open this in the burp suite repeater. In order to spawn a shell in our terminal, we're going to first set up a listening port at port 4444. And now we're going to use the following command. And as soon as we do that, we now have access to this here. The first thing we're going to do here is that we're going to spawn a shell from Python. The command that I used for spawning the shell is this one. And now we're first going to check all the permissions that this user has using sudo space -l. And it turns out that we can use the awk command as sudo. Awk is a command used to run small code in order to manipulate data. But since we can use this as sudo, we're gonna exploit this and use this command to spawn a shell. Now we finally have the root access to this machine. On the root folder, there seems to be another .ova file, hence the name Doubletrouble. Now we're gonna have to extract this file from the virtual machine and solve this one as well. In order to extract this .ova file, what I would recommend is using a Python 3 server and setting up a listening port or a wget port after doing this. in order to get this file. After that, if you don't have if you don't have a shared folder set up, go to the machine settings, shared folders, and add a folder here. This will make sure this will all the information in this all the files in this folder will be shared between the virtual machine and the host PC. Now I have the second machine up and running. Let's follow the same procedures and see what we have. Once again, there are two ports open, an SSH port, and a server Apache server at port 80. Let's check out what the server has. Oh, okay. This is from the cookies. We have this login, a username, and a password. There doesn't seem to be anything else about this page. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use. Even if you go for, we're gonna first use dir in order to check for anything that we can use. But dir doesn't result in anything. Right. So what we can do is we're gonna use SQL map in order to figure out if this can be injected with SQL. We have two databases here. One of them is information schema, and the other one is named Doubletrouble. Let's see what the Doubletrouble one has to offer. In order to check for all the tables on the database, we're gonna use this command and make sure that on this particular thing, just select this, copy, and paste it on here. And there we go. We have one table by the name of users. Now, in order to get the information from the table, we're gonna make some little changes to this particular command. We're gonna use the table users and set it to dump. Once again, copy this default right here and put it here. And there we go. We have two usernames and two passwords associated with them. Since there was an SSH port open on the machine, we're gonna try logging into that. First, let's try the Montreux one. And it turns out that we cannot because the permission has been denied. Now let's try the other one, the Clapton one. And turns out that we can log into this one. If we check the version of the Linux here, of the operating system here, we see that it is a 3.2.0. Now this particular version is vulnerable to the dirty cow mem vulnerability. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna open a file called dcm for dirty cow mem.c and put the code for the dirty cow mem code right here. The program says that we can log in with the username Firefart and with the new password that I put in. So let's try this out. And if I just do a quick ID here, this UID is 0. That means that I do have the root access to this one. Thank you for watching.